So I wanted to start by thanking everyone for joining today's tour. This is sort of the first official part of our 2021 virtual FOP Family Gathering. So I want to thank you for making the effort to be involved in learning your way around and making the most of this experience. My name is Hope Newport. For those of you who I haven't had the pleasure of meeting or connecting with yet, I'm the Family Services Manager here at the IFOPA. And this is my second virtual family gathering. So I joined the IFOPA about 3 years ago. And last year we did our first virtual family gathering due to COVID, and we repeated it again this year, partially because of COVID, but also partially because we appreciate the wonderful opportunities for connections that it gives members of our community. So with that, we will go ahead and get started. And I just wanted to point out that for anyone who needs translation support, I have posted that link in the chat box. So you should be able to go in there and click that link directly to be able to access artificial intelligence translation for today's meeting or today's tour. And now we'll go ahead and get started. So as soon as I can upload this tour to YouTube and link it in the email that's going out to attendees today, you will all receive an email in just an hour or so with a link to access the environment. So this link, in case you miss it, can also be found in the program guide, which is on our IFOPA Family Gathering website. So you'll be able to, again, find the link to log in and on that location, and then in the email that you'll receive today. And we will also be sending out emails Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. So hopefully you won't have to dig too much in your inbox to find the link to join each day. If you're someone who uses bookmarks, I would encourage you to bookmark this in your browser so that you can just easily find it if you want to log in for the event throughout the day. So can everyone see my screen okay? I've now opened up the login link. So I'm gonna enter the environment here, and you will just need your email address. So I registered using my IFOPA email address. That's what I'll put in here. And you'll click on enter. And what I'm going to do is just move through the different areas of the virtual event, pointing out helpful tips as I go. So we'll start here in the lobby. My lobby is all in English. This year, we translated the virtual environment into 3 languages, French, Spanish, and Portuguese. So if you registered and shared that you are a French, Spanish, or Portuguese speaker, your environment should automatically populate to that language. I'll point out how you can adjust that if that's not the case here in just a minute, but mine is in English, and I just wanted to point out a few different aspects of the environment. So down here across the bottom, you'll see these scrolling marquee messages. So those are just kind of helpful reminders or tips about participating in the event. In addition to those, there will also be announcements that will pop up. And I apologize, I am a little zoomed out. So these appear kind of small on my screen, but you'll see announcements that will also pop up here in the upper right-hand corner of your virtual environment. And those announcements are mostly reminders. So if there's a session that's about to start, those announcements will come in 5 to 10 minutes prior to the start of the session. And that's just so that no matter where you are in the event, you could be in the exhibit hall or the lounge, that will kind of serve as a alarm to alert you that a session is about to start and you may want to head to the theater. I think the last thing I wanted to point out about the exhibit hall are these clickable ads. So these ads will rotate through different things, and you'll be able to click on these to visit different booths, to visit. This one will take you to our website where you can learn more about our community social events, information you need to participate in those. So that's just another way to help you navigate the environment. And we're going to move now into the theater, which is really sort of the heart of the content for the weekend. So the theater houses all of the links you will need to participate in sessions throughout the weekend. You'll see these sessions organized by day in these tabs across the top. And so as we move through the weekend, the Friday tab will move to the end of the line and Saturday will be at the front. This is where, if you're logging in early, you can add reminders so that if you wanted to really make sure you didn't miss a session, you could add a reminder, and that would help to populate, make sure you're getting alerts and kind of fill out your personal schedule. But as these sessions become live, you will be able to actually click a join now live link. So I will go through and show you what it'll look like once you click that here in just a second. But a few more things I just wanted to point out about this is that this is also one area where you can update your time zone. So when you enter the environment, you will be automatically in the Eastern time zone. But if you don't live in the Eastern Standard Time Zone here in the US, or you live abroad, you can click on this to update it to a different time zone that is accurate for you. So one thing I wanted to mention before I click into what the webcast will look like is that this is only the agenda for the family gathering, general session, and small group discussion sessions. If you are the parent of a child with FOP, or you have siblings who are participating, the Fun Zone agenda is actually linked here in the exhibit hall, and I'll show you how to access that when we get to that aspect of the event. But I wanted to next go on to the webcast to show you all what that looks like. So, 1 second. Okay, so when you join the webcast, you will see this yellow background and these 3 different boxes, for lack of a better word. And these boxes are where all of the content will come in. This is not a live session. There's no one presenting right now, so you're not missing anything, and there's nothing filled in. But a few things I wanted to point out about the webcast or the session space. So the video of your presenters is here, and you can mute this video if you are using one of our translation services. I'll point that out here in a minute. There will also be, for some sessions, videos that will play here in this larger slide area. And so you can also, when a video plays here, you have the option to mute audio here as well. These windows can all be resized. So if you're someone who likes to maybe see your presenters really up close, you can resize that video window. You can close windows out if you don't want to look at slides but would prefer to just focus on the presenter, or you don't want to have the chat or Q&A open. You can close those and refresh. There is a refresh button. And closed my Zoom down here at the bottom. So if you hit that little circular refresh button, that will bring everything back to the design that it was when you entered. So if you close out of anything, do not panic. You can always bring it back with that little button down here. To move through this box here, you'll see on the lower left-hand corner, this is where a lot of interactions will take place and our translation resources will be accessible. So this first one is a chat, and this chat is with all attendees. This is just a space where you can connect with other attendees. You feel free to introduce yourself, feel free to just kind of take the opportunity to connect and share a little bit about yourself with other attendees as the session is going on, if there's topics of interest that come up that you want to relate to. So the next tab is the Q&A. This is our questions and answers tab, and this will look a little different for you as an attendee, but this is essentially where you will just submit your questions for the presenters. We would ask that you do not put questions into this chat tab, because that can just be a little more difficult for us to monitor as moderators or presenters. So if you have a question for the presenter, please do make sure to put it in this Q&A tab here. Next, you will see Wordly. This tab will be in every session. This is how you will access the artificial intelligence translation, and you'll be able to select your language from the list down here, hit apply, and then it will start generating text for this session. One thing to note is that if you choose to use the Wordly audio, because Wordly does provide translation in written text that you can read as well as audio, you'll want to just make sure that you mute the audio up here for the video speaker so that you're not hearing both English and the translated audio, which you can turn on and off by just clicking this blue word microphone button down there. The other translation resource that we will have for 5 sessions throughout the weekend is called Interprify, and this is actually a live professional translation that will be available in Spanish and Portuguese for 5 sessions. And those sessions are on Friday, the Common Health Questions for FOP Medical Experts, panel 1, and our 2 FOP clinical trials panels. And then as well on Saturday, there is another FOP medical experts panel that will have this feature. And on Sunday, there is 1 session on patient involvement in drug development and approval. So you'll be able to access this tab only for those 5 sessions. This will not be in the other webcasts, but you will just simply, again, click the language that works best or that's most supportive for you, and then you'll be able to connect. And you'll want to make sure, again, to mute this so that you're not hearing the English audio as well as the translator audio. So you can access several of these tabs down here along these buttons at the bottom that I pointed out where the refresh is. But one last tab that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention is the handouts tab. So some of our speakers will allow or give permission for us to share their slides or handouts resources they have with attendees. And this is where those will be found. So if a speaker has given permission to share their slides, again, that's not every session, but I would say at least half of our sessions, we do have that. There will be a PDF that you can download here in this handouts tab. So I think that is everything about the theater. I know that this space is very new for a lot of us who are used to doing everything on Zoom. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to put those in the chat and we can kind of answer them now, or if you want to hold them and ask them at the end, that's fine as well. But yeah, I just want to reiterate that you can refresh these windows. I know that closing them out can be a little panic striking, so please remember that feature. And I think that is everything about the theater that I wanted to touch point on. So if no one else has questions, then we will move on to the next environment space, which is the exhibit hall. So the exhibit hall, this year we have 4 different halls. They are the FOP Resources Hall, which is primarily our IFOPA programs and different FOP resources for the community. You'll see our fun zone in here, 10 soldiers. So I mentioned that the agenda for the fun zone links to our website where you can join in all of the activities is available here. It's the first tab at the top. So this will take you to our website where all of the Zoom links to join in the sessions that Lexi Gonzalez, our Fun Zone leader, is hosting can be found. The other things I wanted to point out, if you are visiting one of our IFOPA staff booths between Friday evening between 5 and 7, Saturday between 9:40 and 11 a.m. or 4:20 to 6 p.m. You will actually be able to come to one of these booths. I'm going to click on our Ability Toolbox booth, and you'll be able to enter in the chat. You can connect in the chat at any time, but during the times I mentioned, the booth will be staffed by one of our IFOPA staff. So because this is the Ability Toolbox booth, it will be staffed by Karen, and she'll be here to respond to any questions you have. One other thing I wanted to point out is that you can also download different resources from our booth. So the home modification handouts that Karen has worked on, the dental resources, if you go in and you click save, this is automatically going to add this resource to your briefcase. So you can see this little link here that says that document has been added to your briefcase. I'll point out kind of how you can access those when we move on to our My Profile tab. But I just want to make note that if you are someone who likes to kind of accumulate different resources or handouts, that's one way to just, rather than having to come back into a space after the event's ended and search for something, you can save it and have it in your briefcase, and it's really easily accessible that way. And one last thing I wanted to point out about specifically our FOP Resources Center is that during those live chat hours, you will be able to not only text, but video chat with IFOPA staff. The video chat is only available in English, whereas the text chat can be translated. But it's still a great opportunity for you to meet one of us if you've been wanting to learn more about our programs. In addition to the FOP Resources Hall, we have a Sponsors Hall, which you can see here, a National Organizations Hall, which has grown this year, and we're so happy to have a few new members. One of those is our FOP Dutch Association booth, and I want to point out that Saskia and a few different members from the community will also be staffing that booth during the live exhibit hall times. And then last but not least, this year we added a new type of hall or type of exhibitor, which is our additional resources. So these are not FOP specific resources. These are more rare disease or serious illness focused resources, but there are resources for children, for young adults, and then for more of our general community that you can access here. So I think that is everything about the exhibit hall that I wanted to point out. Just wanted to re-emphasize that you can arrow or navigate easily from one hall to another using these little arrows here. And we'll move on to the Resource Center. So the Resource Center is one place for you to go if there are any important resources that you are wanting. It's just an easy location to find several of our important resources, such as our program guide, which is available on the website as a downloadable PDF in English. And then the website can also be translated for those who speak a different language. Some of the handouts from our different IFOPA programs and services you can find easily here. So if you're wanting to just browse all of our resources, you can come here and click through them easily. Additionally, this is where you can find the link to our survey. So we will be sending out the link in an email at the end of the event, but if you're wanting to complete it, you can't find the email, or it's the end of the third day and you're ready to kind of share your feedback, please feel free to come in here and access it. And then one other thing I wanted to point out is that our Share Your Strength talent show, which will take place on Saturday, the 20th at 7 p.m., will be available here as a link so that you can go and watch a recording of that on YouTube if you missed it on Saturday. So moving on, I'm going to show you a few exciting parts of our lounge this year. So if you were attendee last year, you know that you could come here to chat, to see sort of what we're posting on the IFOPA Facebook stream. So this is going to update you on, as we're going through the event, we'll post, snippets of sessions, and this is a great place for you to come to see just really the little pieces of the family gathering that we're capturing to share on our Facebook page. But new this year is our photo booth. So this is an opportunity for you to actually take a photo to kind of commemorate the 2021 virtual family gathering. I do want to point out that when you go through to access the photo booth, you will have to give permission if you would like your photo to show up in the gallery. So the gallery I'll point out in just a minute, but when you check this box and hit continue, that provides permission for the photo booth to post your image on this wall. So right now I'm kind of alone in here, but I look forward to other members of the community joining me and to this gallery being really full with pictures of faces from those in our community. So yeah, please do go in to the lounge. connect with others in the chat, take a photo in the photo booth. We do ask that each attendee limits themselves to 2 photos. So, there's a couple different backgrounds and frames to choose from, that if you can try to stay to 2 photos, we would appreciate that. And then follow along with sort of what we're posting about the event on our social media channels. The last thing I wanted to visit before we get into just more of the logistics, the nitty-gritty details, is the game section. So you'll see here that we have 3 different games. We have a trivia game, which is IFOPA or FOP specific trivia. Excuse me. There is a puzzle game. This is a slider. So you rearrange the different pieces of the puzzle to make it whole. And I think we have 4 different puzzles that you can do this year. So lots of fun to be had there. And then lastly is our badges. So I am anticipating and hoping this will be a popular area of the event. How this is going to work is that there is an overall points leaderboard. And we this year are awarding prizes, Visa gift cards to the top 5 points people in this section. So how do you earn points? There are these different badges. Each badge is worth a different amount of points. And you can read the descriptions to see, like, to gain the profile master, you need to update your profile. You can add a picture, add different information about yourself there. There are different badges for attending sessions, for attending different exhibit booths. So this is just a way for us to make sure that everyone is really excited to explore all that the event has to offer. I want to note that this overall points leaderboard will update even after the live event has ended, but we will be naming our prize winners at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. So the winners will be kind of identified based on what is in the standings here at 3 p.m. on Sunday. And now to go on to some of the more detailed areas of the event, but really important for us to all be aware of. So the My Profile space, as I mentioned, when you log in, if the environment is not in the language that you registered as, or that works most effectively for you, you can select one of our 3 additional languages here. You can update your standard time zone for your theater here as well. And then of course you can edit your photo. And then one other feature that I wanted to point out for everyone is that you can also video chat with other attendees through this space. So if you, are visiting our exhibit hall, the IFOPA staff can initiate a video chat with you through the chat in our booths. But say you knew that a friend had registered, or you wanted to see if a friend had registered for the event, I am kind of just going to walk through the process for you to find that friend. So you would go to your profile here. You would come over to this Communication Center tab here, and then you're going to come down to the chat box found there in the middle. You're going to click on a new chat. So once you click on that new chat, you'll be able to search for the person who you'd like to chat with. So Karen and I were testing this out, and she searched for my name. And once she searches for my name, it will pull up if that attendee is registered, and you'll be able to come over and click on this person's name to initiate a chat. So you're going to come in, you can select a message there and hit start chat. And then it's going to wait for that person to accept the chat. So the person does need to be online to accept the chat before you can start a video message. But once they've accepted it, you'll send a request to start video. And once that person accepts the video message, you'll be able to see them. And it's sort of like a Zoom interface where you can connect and communicate that way. So we hope that attendees will make the most of this opportunity to not only chat with people via text in the lounge, but also to connect face-to-face or over video with one another. So let me go back. There was a few things I just wanted to point out about the help desk. So I hope that this won't be an issue for many of you, that it'll be a smooth experience, but I wanted to point out that there is a help area of the virtual event. So if you're having any technical difficulties at all, you can post those if it is a technical difficulty related to the webcast. So say you're in the theater and you've joined a session and you're having trouble with something within the session, you can put that directly in the chat for that webcast or the session you've entered. But if you are in the event environment and you are trying to access something in the exhibit hall or one of the games you're having trouble with accessing, then you can come to this help tab area. And there is an email. This email is also found in the program guide. So if you're having trouble logging into the event, this is an email that you can access. This is also on the login page where you would experience the issue if you had one. And there's also a contact point for someone from the IFOPA who can help assist you. So those are where you can find email addresses to people who can help support you if our live chat is not staffed. So you'll see here, this second tab, you can ask questions, and this will be staffed during our live general session hours. So if there's a general session presentation going on, you'll be able to come into this chat and it will be staffed by members from the virtual event vendor who are qualified to answer your questions about any technological issues you're experiencing. Again, you can access our program guide here. And if you have something specific to the content for the family gathering or one of the small group discussion sessions that is taking place on Zoom, if you're having any trouble accessing those, this is where you'll find the contact information for the IFOPA contact. And then there's also just a few additional tips about your system, how to make sure that you are set up to have the smoothest experience there, and then frequently asked questions that you may want to explore as well. So that is everything for the virtual event environment that I wanted to pass out, or I wanted to go over. But I also wanted to just reference a few things from Zoom that I think are really helpful to be mindful of as we are participating in some of our small group discussion sessions or some of the other events that'll be taking place, like our community social events on Zoom, which is outside of the Int'l platform. So this just kind of goes over a few helpful tips that I like to encourage at the beginning of those sessions. One thing that you may hear us asking you to do is to mute yourself if you're not speaking. There's a lot of people in a Zoom session. It's just helpful to limit any background noise. So on this bottom toolbar that you all can probably see on your screen, we'll ask people to mute themselves. We would love to see you for all of our small group discussion sessions. I offered the opportunity for you to turn off your videos today since this is being recorded. But if you would like to start or stop your video, that can also be found down here. And then for us to all be able to connect as efficiently as possible when we're having conversations, to be able to reference people by name, there is an ability for you to update your name to make sure that it's accurate. So if you come to the participants tab here in the bottom and you click on that tab, it's going to open up and show you yourself, and you'll see next to your name to the right the opportunity to rename. So you can update that to make sure it reflects who you are. And then we also just want to encourage you to, if you have any technical issues you're experiencing in these sessions, there's someone from the IFOPA for all but the Friday afternoon small group discussion sessions and the young adult session on Saturday, there to help answer any technical questions that they can support you with in the chat. And if you're someone who uses translation support and you are having any difficulties in that, please feel free to just raise your hand for that support as well. So I see we had